When a qualified viewer comes to visit your profile from your Reels, he decides one of two things. He's either going to keep scrolling, or he's either going to stay in your profile, watch your content, and reach out to you for help in your DMs. And what determines that is proper profile optimization on Instagram. So in this video, I'm going to go over how to properly set up your IG account so that when leads come onto your IG profile, they don't actually keep scrolling, but they actually watch your content and they reach out for help in your DMs, and you can actually book them on a call and close them. And this is also something that we used for one of our clients to generate them over 6 figures. So trust me, this is going to be saucy. Now, this all begins with understanding how people consume content and how they actually get nurtured. There are 3 main questions that people want to get answered when they're actually visiting a Instagram profile. And all we have to do with the profile optimization is simply answer those questions and everything will be smooth from there. Those questions are: who is this person? Is this actually for me? And how can you help me? And this begins with understanding the mistakes first that people make. Now, and the biggest mistake that I see people make is not understanding how the consumer psychology on Instagram works. Number one, everything that we do has to be optimized for phone, because when people come to an Instagram, whether they are qualified or they're just a normal person, they're coming on Instagram usually to either post or just scroll around, see what's going on, etc. So when they're actually seeing your content, seeing your reels, seeing your profile, it's actually not to buy something. Like, they're not going through your profile because, you know, oh, I'm gonna buy something, or I'm looking for a mentorship, I'm looking for help. And so this is the first mistake that people make, is they assume that everybody who goes on their social media is like ready to buy. And so the way they set up their social media is like they put like a sales link in their bio. How we want to do it is we want to set it up as a very classic, normal, and casual landing page. So that people land and we immediately answer the 3 most important questions with the correct position of the bio, perhaps the username, the highlights, the feed content, everything. And so people go into the profile and they're not like immediately, oh shit, this dude's trying to sell me. But they're like, oh, okay, this guy's actually trying to provide me value, and he helps people with this and that, and he has this like tracker record behind him, and I can see that on his YouTube channel, all that kind of stuff. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to, if you have an IG profile that is optimized for, you know, being salesy, I'm going to show you how to break that and how to turn it into an actual landing page that people, when they come onto it, they're not immediately repelled because it's salesy, but they are actually leaned into it and they're like willing to give you a chance, actually consume your content, and then you have a chance later on to turn them into leads. So let's start first with how your actual IG profile is positioned. So here you have, obviously you have your username over here at the top, right? And then below your username or next to it, you have the profile picture, which is again super important. We'll see why. You have the count of how many posts, you have the count of how many people follow you, and you have the count of how many people you follow. Below that is your name, right? So super simple, right? And then there goes your bio. So you have usually, depending on like the brand. So there goes your bio. You have like 3 or 4 lines in your bio, right? I'm just gonna put 4 for this specific video. And you have a link at the end of it, right? The link that leads to, usually it's like a YouTube channel or something like that. I'm gonna go and break down everything very, very soon. And then below that, you have your story highlights, which usually there's around 4 to 5 story highlights depending on the brand. And then below that, you actually have your feed content, which is gonna be set up like this. And I'm gonna talk about every single one aspect, right? So let's get right into it. So username is super simple. I'm not even gonna like go too much in depth into it. However, there are some things that you do want to include. Number one, you want to avoid bad usernames, because think about it. The first thing people see when they're scrolling through Reels is your username and then your profile picture. You want to avoid bad usernames, as in having dots or underscores under the username. You know, it's just not, doesn't look good and looks super fucking awful. Now, one very quick tip is if you want to relate your username to a niche, you can actually do that by putting a little keyword such as e-com in your name, in your username, so that people know, okay, this guy is into e-com, right? So for example, if I was an e-com seller, I would put Philip e-com or e-com Philip. Or I could, if I was a, I don't know, Amazon FBA, I could put Philip FBA or Philip sells products. Or if I was into trading, I can put Philip trades, something like that. Something that relates people into my niche so that it actually attracts the right type of person in that niche, and if they want to follow me, they immediately know what I'm about, and like they can, they can recognize me easier. And if you can, this is an optional bonus. If you can, you should purchase a custom like username. Like for example, if you look at Jeremy Haynes, he has his little Jeremy tag on Instagram, which like looks super cool, looks unique, and like nobody has it. So for example, if I wanted to buy one as well, I wanted to buy one that says Philip. Right, this is Philip. Not my current username is I am Philip Simons, which by the way, you should follow me or message me on Instagram if you guys have any questions. Go check out my content there as well. However, instead of having a long ass name such as I am Philip Simons, I could just have Philip. It doesn't like add or improve anything. It's just like these usernames are so rare, and people know that these usernames have to be paid for. So it kind of increases your authority, and people get more intrigued about you because again, they know you have to pay for this. So it's like, damn, who is this guy? How does he get access to the people that are actually able to get this username for him? Does he have internal access to the Instagram team, right? So it kind of like makes you look like a more valuable person. So if you can get that, which by the way, I could actually help you get that, just DM me on Instagram. I can connect you to somebody who can get you an Instagram name. So that is an easy way to increase your authority, but again, it's just optional. The things that we're actually going to speak about later in the video matter so much more than your username. Next is your profile picture, and like we said, with the username, the profile picture, like it's literally the first thing people see when they scroll reels. So you have to look presentable. Now, when I say presentable, I don't want you to look too professional to the point where you're literally looking like one of those like LinkedIn geeks. Okay, like you don't want to have like a little suit and a background head. Like you want to make it look chill. In my opinion, my profile picture looks very good. The editor can pull it up on the screen right now. I think it looks good because it's casual and it's in my shirt and it's in my natural environment, which is like where I'm filming right now. So it looks pretty good. It looks clean and it's not complicated. It took me like 1 minute to create. It's like I didn't have to edit it in Photoshop or anything. You do want to avoid some stuff that is not like immediately recognizable. So if you are at a very distance, like a long distance shot, you don't want to put that. Or if there's multiple people on the picture, you don't want to put that. And what you can do instead to be more recognizable and you can niche it down a little bit is you can, in the profile picture, you can wear or do something that is specific to the niche. So for example, one example is like Brez Scales. What he did is he put a Lamborghini Aventador. I think it was when he did a car crash, which that was like the only thing he was famous for. He put it as a profile picture. And yes, I just said, don't put something that's long distance. But again, it signaled he is that specific guy that got the car crashed, which that's what he's the most known for. And it signals that he's a rich dude. And like the info guys are more into cars and all that. So that was a way for him to signal that, hey, I'm actually in info. I'm one of the info guys. But the principle is make it easy to understand and make it presentable. That's it. Now, I want to give a quick shout out to the numbers on how many posts you have, how many followers you have, and how many people you actually follow. Although that doesn't matter, the amount of posts that you have versus the amount of like the ratio between the amount of posts and the amount of like followers you have matters. Because like if somebody sees that you have 1,000 posts and you have like 10,000 followers, they're gonna think like, okay, this dude it took him 1,000 posts to get 1,000 followers. Like he must not be that knowledgeable. Like he must not be that good, right? It lowers your perceived authority. I would definitely like lower the amount of posts you have, and I will also lower the amount of people you follow. It would be like 100 to 300. The lower the better, obviously, because there's a subconscious thing where if you follow too many people will subconsciously see you as a follower. And when you don't follow a lot of people, but a lot of people follow you, you're seen as like the leader, like people follow you, you know? Again, it's not something huge, but it's something like a subconscious scanning decision that people make as they look at your profile. So just a quick observation, you want to take care of that as well. Now, your name, obviously like keep it as your name. If you want to niche down, what you can put like your name, which in my case would be Philip Simons. Philip Simons is not my actual name, by the way, guys. I'm just using it for US market. But anyway, Philip Simons, and then you can put like your niche. So for example, my niche would be content agency. right? So not like, don't make it some fucking stupid buzzword like architecture of the content industry. Like, that's stupid. It's just like when people see you and they're actually good business owners or whatever, and they see those buzzwords, like they immediately know that you're throwing shit in the sentence just to make yourself sound smarter than you are. So just keep it brief, put one sentence, like 2-line fucking info about which niche you're in, like a content agency, and that's it. Now, your bio is actually super fucking important because it is going to communicate to people. Like, this is the most important, like profile picture and username. This is where we get people to go into our profile. Now, let's say we've gotten them from a reel to our profile, and this is where it actually, like, we actually convert them. Right, so they're on the profile, and this bio is gonna quickly tell them, okay, is this for me? Is this not for me? Who's this person? How can they help me? Right? So the first line, in my opinion, should always be like giving people a quick tip on how you can actually help them. Don't waste their time. Just tell, hey, I help this and this and this. So if you are a business coach, you can say, I help coaches make more money, or I help coaches make 100K a month. First line should be help, right? Now, the second line, that should actually be some sort of social proof. So now you stated how you can help me. Now let's back it up. Who you have helped already. I help, and again, you want to be specific with it. Like, you don't want to just say, hey, I helped 1,000 students, because it's not real. Nobody knows that if you onboard 1,000 students, like at least some percentage of them will fail. So you can't just say, hey, I helped, right? So you have to be more specific. I generated X amount of revenue. That is very good and very strong. I generated X. Okay, that's pretty long, but I generated X, right? You can do that as well. And the third line, like if you're running a 3-line bio, which I do recommend it, what you can do is you can put just, hey, DM me a keyword to learn how. So you have help, you tell people how you help them, and then you tell them what you already did for this specific niche. And then in the third line, you tell them to DM me X to learn how. How did you actually do it? And so this is how we generate leads, because this is the entire point of the profile, is to have people reach out to us for help, right? And by the way, you might not think that, oh, this is not like I can just leave the CTA. No, trust me. People will be scared. I know that people are scared. Like, I've heard some insights that people literally would tell me, hey, I want to reach out to this certain person, but I'm not sure how to reach out to them for help. Like, think about a lead. A lead is following you, wants to like get help from you, but they don't know how to reach out. They don't know how to word it. Okay, so there is friction. You have to understand there is friction. How can you reduce that friction is by telling people there's a simple word, you can message me and we're gonna get back to you. And that reduces all the friction of how can I reach out to you. They don't have to think about how they can reach out to you. They can just like send a word. That's it. Again, I recommend running a 3-line bio, because like you don't want to make it too long to the point where people have to click load more to actually see your bio. But again, if you want to do it, I don't know. In the case of you doing a 4-line bio, that would be the case where you can either have the first line tell something personal about you, like, hey, I am a pastor, or I am a father, right? If your audience is actually like they're a father, etc. And then the second line, and then so like only the first line changes, where you add something personal, and then you pretty much follow the same template. I help, I guaranteed, I generated, and DME X, right? Same principle. Or what you can do is you can use a 4-liner to add more proof. So the first line would be I help. Second line would be social proof, I generated. And the third line could also be some sort of social proof, like I worked with, and I insert maybe a big brand name that you're working with. Who knows? A big international brand. And then you have DME X, which is the last line. DME, like, that is a non-negotiable. But again, I recommend, unless you have a very specific offer where you're like strategically, you're only selling to fathers or mothers or something, you could have a 4-liner where the first line begins with I'm a father of how many kids, I don't know. Now, when it comes to your link is actually a very important part of your bio, because it leads people somewhere, and you want to control where you lead people. So a lot of people, they will put like a webinar link or a VSL funnel in there. What I like to put is a simple YouTube video. And it's usually a YouTube video that explains my expertise and authority in the best way possible. So it's like like a case study or something, right? I personally have a case study on my Instagram where you can actually see how we help one of our clients generate 6 figures on Instagram. Anybody that comes in, they get funneled into that, they can see, okay, this guy's actually working with this big person that everybody knows, and he's helped them generate this example. And so it immediately establishes me as an authority, okay? So very, very important. I prefer YouTube. It reduces the sales friction where you're not salesy, but you're actually establishing a connection with people. And I think that's really, really important. Now let's look at my bio, for example. On there, you can see I didn't put too much information. I am definitely missing the DM CTA, which I'm gonna definitely put as soon as we get started on Instagram a lot more seriously. However, you can see that I immediately tell people I scale personal brands, immediately telling people what I do. Next, I lead people onto a YouTube link. Like if you go on my Instagram profile, which by the way, you can go and follow me right now, you can click the link and you'll see it's gonna lead you to one of my case studies where we generated a client 100K with Instagram. And that immediately establishes me as the authority. And then below that, we have story highlights, which we haven't really talked about yet. But story highlights immediately showcase the proof that I'm actually working with these clients, we're making videos for them. And again, it's just established that, hey, I work with these big names, we can help you out as well. So we got people's attention from Reels, and then we funnel them into our profile, and they've seen from the bio, they've gotten these 3 questions sort of answered, but not fully. So they know how we can help them, they know who we helped before, but they're still obviously they need more proof. And here's a good thing about a setup of profile like this is when you have a salesy profile, they're immediately gonna scroll away. But when you have a casual profile like this, they're more willing to actually go through the content because they feel like you're not selling them. So that's really important to know. These highlights are super important because we're able to, essentially it's like a authentication system. It's easy for somebody to go through your bio or even click the link in your bio, but it takes a different kind of person to go through your highlights or go through your content, right? So this is why it's important to have it there. So what you should have is, number 1, a start here type of story highlight that is 8 to 14 sequences, 8 to 10 actually, not too many, not over 10, because you don't want to overwhelm people. You just want to explain people essentially your story, your origin story, how you started, what you're doing, etc. And again, just gets people more they come from one reel and now they immediately get to know your entire story. Super important. So that is the first one. The next story sequence that you want to have is called the results, results type of story sequence, where you essentially show people either results from students, clients, or personal results, and you just make a case study. Hey, this is this client, this is how we achieved it. After every single story, there needs to be a CTA. Okay, this is very important. At every touch point, there is a CTA. In the bio, there's a CTA. In the highlights, there is a CTA. And we're going to be talking about pin posts. There's also going to be a CTA, right? So there is always a CTA. This is very important. So people come from the reel, they get us, they immediately get to know us, and we immediately pitch them so they can DM us, which essentially is an attempt to decrease the window of how long it takes them to convert. So that second story highlight is going to be essentially showing people the proof, telling people how you did it, what some of epiphany moments that the client or the student reached, etc. And then we have a CTA at the end, giving people something for free. And a third CTA is essentially, could just be technical breakdowns or a Q&A. You could either post a Q&A on your story, answer the Q&As, put it there, and it just sits there. Or you can just take 10 most frequently asked questions in your niche. You can have a mock account, a burner account, and you just ask yourself those questions. So it seems like other people are asking you those questions, and you just answer them and post it on your story. And it just answers most frequent questions and shows that you know what you're doing. And it seems like people are asking you questions, you are in demand, and you're actually answering the questions, etc. Super important. And the fourth CTA should be just general life stuff, in my opinion. This is good because you don't have to do it, but this is good because it shows people that you actually have a life. and you're not just a salesy business account that wants to sell people. Again, that's very important, but you actually have a life. You have a family, you have kids, you have a business that you run, you have a coaching community, you have a community of people, I don't know, maybe outside of online, and you have a life. That's the main premise of that CTA. So now we answer who you are, how can you help them, who have you already done it for, like, you know, is this real? And we also answer like, okay, is this guy just gonna sell me, or does he have an actual life? And for these story highlights, I think it's important to like keep them personal. You don't want to keep them like fucking Canva icon type shit, because it screams business brand. And business brands, they have like, people just repel to business brands because it doesn't feel like a personal connection. So again, keep the highlight covers personal. We are going into feed content. Okay, very, very important. This is essentially the last step of the authentication process. Okay, now you need 3 pinned posts. You need this one, this one, that one, and this one. 3 pinned posts at the top, and these 3 pinned posts, just make them super simple, literally reels, where you break down your origin story. You can do your origin story. You can do a case study breakdown, like a short form version. So that YouTube video where I lead people to a long form case study, I can turn it into a short form case study and I can post it. And you also want to break down either a technical question or again, a case study. Like, proof is like what you want to lead with, but it can be like a technical question where you answer people some questions or a frequently asked question. But again, in my opinion, it should be a case study and an origin story. So those are like the 3 pin posts. Like, don't make it too complicated. People just want to see who you are, can you help them, who you have done it before, and that's it. Now, in terms of your feed content, you need to have a theme, right? So the worst thing is when people come to your profile and there is no theme. Okay, it just seems like you're not locked in on your content. You're just posting bullshit for the sake of posting it. So you need to have a theme where, okay, I can clearly see from the content grid, you're actually posting this type of content on this day. That means you're a serious person. You have a team behind you, and like you're taking, like, you're tracking everything. You have a calendar for it. You're blocking out time to make content. Like, you're serious. It clears me that you're a serious person who schedules their time out. So a theme is very important. So for example, I don't know, you might have a carousel here, a carousel here, and then this would be reels, right? And that would be like a theme that you follow all the time. Who knows, right? Maybe, maybe not, right? And what you also need to have is you need to have like highlights. Is that how you call them? Like highlights or hooks at the top of each video. Just because when I scroll through your page, I don't want to have to tap onto the reels to like hear about what it is. I just want to be able to look at the feed, read the text at the top of the video, right? That would be like here, and then determine, okay, is this video for me or not? Or is this page for me or not? So like, okay, for example, this one might say how I made 250 million views, a short form. This one might say, how do we help our client 200K, make 100K? How do we help this client help get 100K in 7 days, right? And so I have 3 videos. They're like all like kind of have the hooks at the top and it tells people, okay, this guy, he is doing Instagram. I can see that from the hook, and I can see that he's also generated 250 million views, made his clients 100K and 100K here. Like he's doing IG and he's getting people serious results. So from that theme, from those highlights, from those hooks at the top of the text, they can immediately determine what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, and they can like get value. Like they can click at the video because they know what they're gonna get. They don't have to watch it, right? Which, by the way, if they have to watch it, they're not gonna watch it. So these are some of the best practices when it comes to your IG profile. However, the truth is, you can have the most optimized profile in the entire world or space or whatever. However, if you're not getting traction, it literally doesn't matter. You're still gonna book 0 calls. Or maybe your content is not dialed in and you're not attracting the right type of person. So you're attracting this type of person that's on the other end of the spectrum, but your profile is optimized for this whole other person. So there's a big mismatch. So this is for more advanced people. So you want to take care of your, like, everything starts with the offer. That's what I tell people. Everything starts with the offer. You want to know who are you attracting, make sure that you're actually getting the traction, and then set up your profile. But if that's something you're struggling with and you want help with, check out the first link in the description where you can see some of our clients, some of the results we gotten for them, and then you can see the process we use to get these clients the results that we're getting them. And you can book a call with me personally where we go over your account and go over your business and essentially see how we can help you scale with Instagram, just like we've helped all of our clients so far. So that's pretty much it for the video. Make sure to like and subscribe, follow me on Instagram, and watch some of our other content. It's pretty fire. We always make sure to give out the best value possible to our viewers. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next week.